Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson will be on converting customary units of weight. Remember, our essential question for this chapter is how can I use measurement conversions to solve real world problems? So today's going to be pretty similar to yesterday, only instead of length units, we're going to be using units of weight. In the customary system of measurement, we have three standard units that we use to measure weight. The first one is ounce, and it's abbreviated OZ. The second one is pound, and it's abbreviated LB or LBS. And then the last one is ton, and it is abbreviated capital T. So we have ounces, pounds, and tons. So these are the three that we are going to be focusing on today. We're going to start with ounces. Ounces are the smallest unit of weight that we have in the customary measurement, and there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So if you put 16 ounces together, that will weigh the same as 1 pound. The medium size is pounds, and there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So these are the conversions that we're going to need to remember as we go throughout the lesson today. We need to remember that 16 ounces is 1 pound and 2,000 pounds is 1 ton. All right, let's look at one real world example. It says a newborn lion cub weighs about 5 pounds. How many ounces does the cub weigh? So the cub weighs 5 pounds, and we need to know how many ounces that would be. So we're going to go back to our conversion chart. We know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So 1 pound is 16 ounces, and I have 5 pounds. So if this is my 1 pound, then there's going to be 16 ounces inside it, and I have 5 pounds. So I would have 16 5 times. Each of these boxes represents 1 pound, and each pound has 16 ounces. I have 5 boxes because the question tells me that there are 5 pounds. Now, to find the total number of ounces, I would take my 16 and I would multiply it by 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 0 carrier 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. So 5 pounds is the same as 80 ounces. So if I go back to my question, a newborn lion cub weighs about 80 ounces. All right, let's look at a real world problem with ounces and pounds again. So example 2 says convert 56 ounces to pounds. So I'm going to go back to my conversion chart. I'm looking at ounces to pounds. So I need to know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So I need to convert 56 ounces. I need to find out how many pounds that would be. So I know that there are 16 ounces in every 1 pound. So again, if this is my pound, inside it would be 16 ounces. I have 56 ounces that I need to find out how many pounds that would be. So 2 pounds would be 16 times 2, which would be 32 pounds. So I'm going to add another 16. We'll see what 16 times 3 is. That would be 48. And I know if I were to add another 16 pounds, that would be too many. So what I have so far, I have 3 pounds, and I've used 16 plus 16 plus 16, or 16 times 3, or 48 ounces. I have 56, I've used 48. I need to find what is left over. So I'm going to do my 56 minus 48. 16 minus 8 is 8. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I have 8 ounces that are not in a pound. Now, to find what fraction of a pound I have left, my leftover is going to be my numerator, 8 ounces, and then however many are in one, so like 16 ounces is in one whole, that's going to go on the bottom, 16. So my 8, that was my leftovers. My 16 is how many are in one whole. Then I would need to simplify this, 8/16. We can divide that by 2. Actually, we're going to divide 8/16 by 8. To simplify, 8 divided by 8 is 1, 16 divided by 8 is 2, so I have a half a pound left over. So 56 ounces is the same as 1.5 pounds. All right, let's look at an example with tons. So we have 5 tons equals blank amount of pounds. So if we go back to our conversion chart, we know that 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So in my model, I would have 1 ton, that's my square, and that would be 2,000 pounds. Well, I have 5 tons, so I'm going to draw 5 tons, and each ton is going to have 2,000 pounds. So I have my 5 tons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each ton is 2,000 pounds. I need to find out how many pounds I have all together. So I'm going to take my 2,000 pounds and I'm going to multiply it by 5. 5 times 0, 5 times 2 is 10. So 5 tons is the same as 10,000 pounds. All right, let's look at an example that does the opposite. It goes from pounds to tons. This example says 3,500 pounds is blank tons. We go back to our conversion chart. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So this is what we need to know to solve this problem. We need to know that 2,000 pounds is the same as 1 ton. All right, so if I have 3,500 pounds, I need to see how many tons I can make. Well, I know that 1 ton would be 2,000 pounds. 2 tons would be 4,000. Well, I don't have 4,000, I only have 3,000. So I can only make 1 whole ton. Then I need to see what's left over. So I started with 3,500 pounds. I put 2,000 of them together to make a ton. So when I subtract, I have 1,500 left over. Now, to write this as a fraction, What I'm going to need to do is take my leftover amount, and that will be my numerator. Then, how many are in 1 whole ton, which would be 2,000, that's my denominator. Then I would need to simplify. I have zeros at the end of my fractions. So to simplify, I can divide by 10 or divide by 100. So I'm going to mark out my zeros. So I'm left with 15/20. I'm going to simplify that again. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to write it down here. What can I divide both 15 and 20 by? I can divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that means that 3,500 pounds is the same as 1 3/4 tons. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. Don't forget to do your independent practice.